right, and we are back with another episode of JR Takes, as always, Ryan and I. Ryan, you got a little new attire there. Little
JSN, baby.
JSN action. Pretty good week the Seahawks had, and we seem to be rolling. We seem to be on this 20-17 kick lately, and I'm really liking it. And it's honestly, this team keeps leading me to astray and then bringing me back. And it's like giving me 2011, 2007 Giants vibes. It really is. I feel like we could just somehow, I feel like certain teams match up poorly against others in the playoffs, and it'll just be a recipe for us to somehow make it to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, this team has been really kind of agonizing to watch for a lot of this season, but they've found ways to win. And that is the most important characteristic that any team can have, is that grit. And I think when you string enough of these, heart attack wins together, you get kind of a belief going on in the team. And so just to kind of, before we get into the playoffs too much, just to kind of overview that Titans game. Yeah. Man, that was a tough watch for 90% of the game.
I didn't get to watch a lot of it because I had to work on Christmas Eve, unfortunately. But the moments I did see, I wish I hadn't. And and I turned it on, streamed it on my phone at work, and I had to turn it off and turn it back on multiple times because I was getting frustrated and I was getting my ass kicked in fantasy. So it was just a bad weekend for me. And then they turned it around and pulled it out. But yeah, Geno. Let's talk about Geno for a little bit, because
Geno might have saved our season for the second week in a row as a starting quarterback for the Seahawks, because we had no run game in this game at all. And while the defense didn't give up a ton of yards or points, they gave up a ton of time of possession. Each team only had 7 drives this whole game, which is a weird game, really weird game.
Yeah.
But the defense just couldn't. I mean, Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry, and he looked a lot more like the Derrick Henry of old against us, unfortunately. But yeah, when Geno needed to deliver, he was perfect basically in the second half, and especially on that game-winning drive, the throw he hits to this guy on 3rd and 14. Oh my God, what a fucking play that was!
Also, that catch by Colby Parkinson. Did you see when he caught it? The other guy's arm was like right here. To be able to ignore that and still catch the ball, and then come down with it,
out-muscle him.
Yeah, that was probably that was the best catch I've ever seen him make, bar none.
We need to do that way more.
Yeah,
I mean, you get him matched up against a guy that's like 5'11". We know how big Colby Parkinson is. That's an impossible task for them if he can just box him out like Jimmy Graham,
Yeah, it almost seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something that NFL insiders know that I don't, but why do so many teams not use 6'8" tight ends to pass or to pass catch? They mainly use them for blocking. And I don't understand that.
It's not something I understand, because maybe we're just too dumb to get it, but it seems like, hey, if you have a guy that's got a foot of height basically and reach on a defender, just throw it high to him.
Yeah.
See what happens if you get him in single coverage.
Well, that's why Jimmy Graham was so good, because he was bigger than everyone else.
And him and Colby are basically the same height, but I think Colby plays with a little more nastiness than Jimmy ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy was a giant finesse man.
He was, well...
I guess he still is. Isn't he still on the Saints?
Yeah, I kind of can't believe that. I figured he would have...
He must have just got bored. He's like, I'll go catch touchdowns. What the hell?
Yeah, but, this game was a bit of a weird one. Ryan Tannehill getting sacked at the end of the game there just brought a big smile to my face, and
the pass rush was pretty damn good this game.
Yeah. But the run game, I don't know. Once we get Kenneth Walker going, I feel like he's the key to our success. Zach Charbonnet too. I feel like this game against the Steelers is going to be a very ugly slugfest, and I hate to say it, but after watching these past 2 games, it kind of feels like we're sort of a Steeler type of team.
I know. I feel like we're kind of the Spider-Man meme of them pointing at each other, because we have the same record. We've both both teams have played a lot of ugly football this year, but, have longtime head coaches that never do worse than 7 wins. There's a lot of similarities, but I just think our offense is so much better than the Steelers that we'll have a good chance to pull this out.
I'm a little worried about Mason Rudolph, I'm not going to lie to you. Did you see what they did to the Bengals?
I did, yeah. It's just the name, Mason Rudolph. Like,
I know.
I can't put I'm worried and Mason Rudolph in the same sentence unless I'm like his head insurance.
Yeah, unless you're worried about his health,
Yeah.
then you can put I'm worried and Mason Rudolph in the same.
Exactly.
But no, he can throw the ball a lot better than Kenny Pickett. That's the only reason why I'm concerned. And he seems to be the only one in that quarterback room that understands to get the ball to George Pickens.
I know. I wish we were getting fucking Trubisky, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe for some reason we end up seeing Trubisky in the game. You never know.
That would be so fun. Have we played him before?
We're 0-1 against Mitch Trubisky.
What?
2018 primetime loss against the Bears.
I don't even remember that.
Whiskey?
What? Irish whiskey, Trubisky.
Was that the year that? No, that wasn't. No, Wilson didn't get hurt that year.
No, it was when we first had Brian Schottenheimer as our offensive coordinator, and Wilson was kind of struggling with him for a little bit, but then it started to click, and that was the year where we beat Patrick Mahomes at home.
Okay.
In that, I think it was a Sunday night game. That was a great
That
game.
was a primetime game, I remember.
Yeah. That was an excellent game. But, this Steelers team, I mean, they got a really dangerous pass rush, first and foremost. I think that's the main strength of this team. As we look at that. Coming in on Sunday at 1 p.m., I believe. Yep. This is a home game.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So that's going to be the main thing I'm looking for is how Charles Cross and Abe are going to hold up against the likes of Alex Highsmith and T.J. Watt. I think T.J. Watt is literally leading the league in sacks right now. So we've just been on a murderer's row of defenses that we've been playing this year. But the positive side of that is if we happen to take care of business this Sunday and then go 2-0 against Buckle Up next Sunday, we're in the playoffs, and we are a team that has been battle-tested going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just got to take care of business first here.
It brings me back to Pete a couple weeks ago when we were on a losing streak, and he was like, "Oh, this isn't gonna get any easier, but we're gonna be tested and blah blah blah." And it makes me think yes, that's true. If we can win out, we will be battle tested, like you just said, and. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Mariners 2 years ago when they had 30-something one-run wins, and that they went toe-to-toe with the Astros and should have won at least one of those games.
Yeah.
But, and everyone was freaking out about the Eagles winning all these close games, and they're not blowing anyone out. I don't really believe in that. I think winning close games means something and says something about your team. But I swear to God, if I watch Najee Harris run all over us on Sunday, I'm going to lose my mind. I swear to God.
Najee has not been a good fantasy buy for Jonah.
No. He was his rookie year. He was really good. And now he's ass. But anyway, about the close wins, I do think going into the playoffs, if say we make it there, if we're playing a team like the Eagles, I mean,
we already beat them.
That's a recipe for at bare minimum 50-50 odds to win that game, I feel like, because
I think the only team in the NFC playoff picture that we really struggle against is the Niners. So if they happen to get the 2 seed and we get the 7 seed and we have to play them immediately, that might be just a repeat of last year, unfortunately, but they're barreling towards the number 1 seed, even though they just got their ass handed to them by the Ravens.
Well, don't the Rams have to play the Niners in week 18? Okay.
So if we win out and the Rams likely lose that game, then the Rams would be the 7th seed. But I think the odds-on favorites to grab those last 2 playoff spots in the NFC are us and the Rams, which is kind of interesting because, going into this season, me more so than you, but we were saying that the Rams were rebuilding and going to be one of the worst teams in the league this year. And how wrong was that prediction?
Well, I didn't think Matt Stafford was going to be healthy.
I didn't think he was either, and I mean, no one knew who Puka Nacua was. And, like, you looked at their roster, you're like, okay, Cooper Kupp is out, so they're throwing to Tutu Atwell and Puka.
Yeah.
Like, what is this going to be? And then it turns out Puka is just the best fucking rookie receiver ever for some just dumb reason.
Yeah.
And that's been a weird thing to watch, but it's at the point where it's not a fluke anymore. It's pretty legit. That guy's good.
I hate to say it, but the Niners are so good that I'm kind of, like, secretly rooting for the Rams.
Me too.
To kind of beat them. Not rooting for them. I am in certain scenarios.
I feel like the Rams are a little better structured to beat this Niners team than we are. But I mean, we should have beat the Rams twice. I still think we are a better team than the Rams, but I think them having that dominant presence on defense and Aaron Donald just can make more disruption for Brock Purdy and company. And we have Leonard Williams has been great for us, and Jerron Reed has been having a renaissance season with us.
The way Leonard Williams,
no Aaron Donald.
Well, the way he's playing is making me not feel so bad about giving away that second round pick, because are we going to get a D lineman better than him? We got Derek Hall. He's
Dude,
not better than
Leonard Williams on that last Titans drive was a animal. He could not be blocked. They literally could have called holding on every play that the Titans ran on that last drive, because two guys are just like hanging on for dear life, and that's a lot of why Tannehill got sacked twice on that drive, is because Leonard Williams was taking up two guys, and then Jerron Reed or someone else gets free.
Yeah, that final Draymond Jones sack, I think that's who it was.
It was.
It was funny because I watched it a couple times because I was like, how the fuck did he do that? Because he was like, he had to run around like the entire wall of men to get to him. It was just like hilarious. But.
Yeah. It's sweet to watch this defensive line on the Seahawks start to gel a little bit, though, because I feel like besides that Giants game, they haven't been getting a ton of pressure. But these last few games, even against the Niners, they were getting pressure. It's just the secondary had a rough one, both outings against the Niners. But yeah, it's interesting. It seems like our pass rush is now a strength, or at least trending towards a strength. But the old bugaboo of the run defense is still a problem, and I don't really know what we can do to fix it at this point in the season. Like, does Jamal help with that? Maybe, but he hurts a ton with pass defense. So I kind of like what we're getting out of Julian Love right now.
Same.
To be honest, though.
Yeah, well, and about the run game, I think we'll get a lot of answers this weekend, because the Steelers' run game is bad. They should not be able to run on us.
Yeah.
So
they're certainly not trotting out Derrick Henry.
No, they're not. But I guess, I don't know, do you want to move on off the Titans game and do score predictions?
Sure, yeah. I think I've said all there really has been to say about it from my point of view. But I think we're going to win this Steelers game, and I unfortunately think it's going to be probably really similar to last week, and our hair is going to be getting gray by the end of this season. But I think we win the game 21-18.
I like that score. I'm going to say we win 17-13.
I could totally see that.
It's going to be like it's probably going to be like a 7-6 halftime score, I'm going to say. Steelers get 2 more field goals, and then we get a touchdown and a field goal at some point in the second half.
I could see it. It will be brutal to watch, but we just need to escape with a W and move on to buckle up to close out the season.
Yeah.
So around the league, what's going on playoff picture wise, and some pretty big stories of the last week?
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw the Russell Wilson interview.
I did. It was hard to watch.
Yeah, Colby and I watched it like an hour ago, and it was like we haven't really seen. It kind of made me think 2 things, like how I used to get annoyed with Russ's robotic personality. I feel like I honestly have changed my mind about that now, because think about what he did for us with that robotic personality. He took us to 2 Super Bowls. He was always laser focused in every game he played in. And fast forward to today, he just got benched, and they were like Denver was borderline like blackballing him or blackmailing him to fucking sit the bench or restructure his injury clause, and it's like he's still being positive even after all that. He's still like, I still love this team, I still love these guys, and I'm still gonna give it my all, and it's just like, damn, he's still doing this even though like he's at his rock bottom essentially.
And it's really weird because it's not like he's been playing bad. I know he's been taking more sacks than you'd like to see, and but that's Russell Wilson. He's always been that.
Yeah.
He just got more often than he used to because he's not as quick. But he was playing good football for the Broncos. He was good for 240 passing yards and 2 touchdowns a game, maybe 1 turnover at most, but he's really got the turnovers under control this season. So I don't know. The whole thing I just think it's a really bad look from the Broncos organization because it was obviously a mistake to make the trade in the contract. But you took a swing and not all of them work out, and I think they're just trying to paint him as the scapegoat of the whole situation, so Sean Payton can shield himself from.
Yeah, I hate Sean Payton.
Dude, I think he's a total dickhead.
He just sucks.
Yeah,
he's just an asshole. He seems like a genuinely mean human being.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his. Though I was telling this to Colby earlier. Best case scenario though for Seahawks fans, because now we can root for Russell now that he's out of Denver. Whatever he does, however many Super Bowls he wins, has nothing to do with us because he's no longer on Denver's team.
The trade is done.
Yeah. So I now we can root for Russ. We can still wish the worst things for Denver, which makes me happy.
Yeah. And I hate them even. I didn't necessarily hate Denver before, but I do I'm just rooting for that whole thing to just blow up and continue to blow up.
And it's like, how long have they gone without having a franchise quarterback? Why are you letting Russ go after 2 years?
Yeah.
He's playing good.
He's playing, even last year, which was a bad year objectively, he still put up better numbers than anyone they've had since Peyton Manning.
Yeah, and
so it's like, I don't get it.
And Colby and I were talking about the contract earlier when you were saying, Colby was telling me that whatever Denver, if they cut him, whatever team signs him, they have the leverage because Denver will have to match like whatever Russ is owed, like $37 million or something like that.
He's owed $87 million
in one season.
Mm-hmm. What? His dead cap hit, if they release him, is $87 million minus whatever a new team signs him for.
Yeah, so the new team is only like if Russell signs like a $5 million 1 year, whatever the number is, the other team just pays that to the Broncos, and then the Broncos have to give him
the $82 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
if I was another team, like it's
crazy.
I think it actually sets up a really interesting scenario here where you have a team like the Falcons that has awesome playmakers on offense, and maybe they load up in the draft on defense. Get Desmond Ridder the fuck out of there. He sucks. Sign Russell Wilson for $5 million on a 1-year deal, and then make Denver eat $82 million fucking dollars in cap, and then you have a way better quarterback on a bargain who, if you look at it from Russ's perspective, in a terrible division
in a dome.
And, it's really, at this point in Russell's career, he needs a good run game. They got Bijan and Tyler Algier. That's one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. I would love to see Wilson on the Falcons next year.
That would be actually, not the Raiders, dude. That's where you go and die.
Yeah, I don't think that would work out. Although he would have
I wouldn't mind the Raiders because I do like the coach that the Raiders have, the interim coach. He seems to be. He seems to have.
He would vibe a lot better with Russ than Sean Payton did.
Arthur Smith. No, that guy needs to go.
I guess I feel like Russ would kind of just walk all over Arthur Smith, honestly. But that might not be a bad thing because Arthur Smith is a moron.
Well,
he acts like he has like no-name players on offense and just doesn't understand how to use like the most talented tight end in the league, one of the best like potential receivers in the league. It's frustrating to watch.
Yeah, he needs to go. Well, and you heard about his dad being like the FedEx The founder of it. Yeah.
He's a billionaire, baby.
Yeah. I'd be worried if I was a Falcons fan on his tenure there.
Yeah.
That would scare me.
Off-season with Russell,
I know. It's gonna be fascinating.
Well, and it would be funny. Obviously, I was just joking around, but like, what if Pete and Russ conjured up this whole scheme to trade Russell to Denver, and then Pete's like, all right, you're going to have to suck for 2 years. You're going to be a double agent. You're going to just make them terrible so we get really good draft capital, and then you'll come back to Seattle in 2 years, and we'll win Super Bowls together.
What if we trade Geno to the Broncos for 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th?
We just keep doing this every 2 years. That would be nice. I would like that.
I would feel bad for Geno for having to go there, but
he would get paid.
Yeah,
wouldn't feel too bad for him.
Yeah,
pay all of our quarterbacks.
They love to give away their money in draft picks. It's their favorite thing to do.
Yeah, it's well, and it's the Walmart family, so I'm happy. I'm glad they're giving their money away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fuck that whole organization.
Yeah.
And their fans. They're so annoying. Always arguing with me on the internet. Like 3 weeks ago, they were like, we won the Russ trade because he's playing elite. And now they're like, we wanted to get rid of Russ anyways. Like, you guys are morons.
They are deranged. They have no idea what's...
Yeah, funny how 3 weeks in the NFL can be such a drastic change. Because I was even kind of like, oh shit, the Denver Broncos are playing really good. We've lost 4 in a row.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm thinking we won this trade anymore. And now, fast forward, no, we did. We were just panicking
even if
a little bit.
He was playing good, that's like we still won that.
I think even if he like won playoff games for them, we still won the trade.
Look at the list of players we got. We got like this many players compared to this.
It's like when the Rams traded for Stafford. The Lions absolutely won that trade, even though the Rams won a Super Bowl. The Lions got a shitload of picks and got a quarterback who's playing good in Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So
they're a playoff. Are they looking like what's the Lions?
They're 11-4.
Yeah.
They're the 3 seed. Yeah, they're the 3 seed.
Yeah, they could get the number 1 seed if things play out a certain way, but it's not likely.
That would be weird. The Lions getting a bye week.
I know.
It sounds like a dream.
I mean, is this the first division title they've won in our lifetime? I think
so. Yeah,
I think it's been since '93.
Yeah, because I heard on the radio the other day it was when Bill Clinton was first president.
Wow.
The first, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, so that's pretty bizarre. I feel like, I don't know, the Bucks, they're winning the South as of now.
Yeah,
they have to play the Saints still, but which I think they'll win.
Yeah,
I
Derek
thought the
Carr
Saints
looks terrible.
I thought the Saints would win that division just because they didn't play anyone all season. Like, I think the only elite quarterback they played was Trevor Lawrence, and yeah, so you should win your division if that's.
They're a weird fucking team this year. That whole division is just kind of gross.
Yeah,
but the Buccaneers, I mean. I hate to say it, but Baker is playing some fucking phenomenal football right now.
Sad.
I kind of like to see Baker bake and not just.
We both
I
just
did
released him in Dynasty though, so it's tough to watch.
Yeah, and Matt beat me with Baker, so.
Dude, I love me some Mike Evans, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And Mike Evans is a future Hall of Famer for
Dude,
sure.
he's amazing.
Did I tell you guys real quick? You know how my dad traded me Drake London in Jet City?
Oh yeah, that's right.
That actually might have won him the league because I started Drake London last minute over Amari Cooper. I took him out and put London in. So that like full circle is just like, God damn it.
That's brutal.
Your dad's gonna choke. And I'm gonna win. Come on.
We'll see.
Will
I mean,
just
We'll
can't.
see.
Wouldn't you rather see me beat your dad, or do you want to see your dad win?
I mean, he's never won before, so.
I've never won.
And his team is like just always in a shambles. It seems like.
Kyle said it actually pretty good. He was like, "I want to see Sack Sucka win just to show you can just do a disgusting amount of trades and it'll actually work. I thought
Yeah.
Yeah, his
No,
strategy has been so schizophrenic, but I mean, he's in
It
the
would be cool to
championship.
see him win just because, like, his team is so, like, Moneyball-esque.
Yeah,
it's just like, how are you winning with these players?
It doesn't make any sense.
When you look at his team compared to my team, you're like, what? I got blown out. I had a really bad week.
Hey, a lot of fantasy is just luck.
It was
No
the
one wants
first
to admit
time
it.
I hadn't scored over 100 points in 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about fantasy. It's like anyone can, if you make the playoffs, anyone can have a run.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Which also kind of makes me realize about Dynasty, I almost feel like I like the off season more because we study so much of the draft that it's like there's so many like what if scenarios going on all off season that it's I'm excited for the draft again.
It makes this podcast more fun too because especially when the Seahawks actually have a first round pick, which we do this year, you really get to know like the whole next generation of players that are gonna come in.
Yeah, it's always kind of cool seeing like whenever we're watching like a random like game that comes on Red Zone or whatever, and you see a name of rookie that you read about in like the 4th round or something, and you're like, oh, I like remember Julius Brents?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think he's on the Colts now, but I'm pretty sure he's on the Colts. But I just remember seeing a highlight of him, and I remember being like, oh, he's the guy that I wanted the Seahawks to get. But I think he was giving up a huge touchdown. So I'm like, oh, well.
You guys know how you guys do that mock draft before the draft or whatever? I want to do that with you guys.
Yeah, it's really fun. That's
Yeah,
like
it's a
probably
good
one of my
time.
favorite parts of doing the podcast, I think.
Yeah, February through April is really fun, and then it's so boring after the draft till like July.
Yeah, the May and June are and even most of July are pretty dead.
Yeah.
But
The only thing, like, you get excited about, like, training camp in July. And then as soon as it happens, you're like, oh, wait, this is not exciting.
And
then
then
the preseason is the same thing.
then week 1 starts, and then you blink, and then the season's over.
Yeah, I can't believe we're sitting here with 2 weeks left. I feel like we were just doing our season prediction, like, a month ago.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just nice to still be in it and like not have a season where like you get to these final weeks and you're hopeless to make.
Yeah.
The playoffs.
yeah, like imagine watching the Titans the other day, rooting for a 5-9 team that will not make the playoffs.
When
Like,
have we been in that situation where we
The last time was
hope?
2021 when we went 7-10. But even that year, we finished the game, like, the last 5 games, I think the Seahawks went, like, 4-1 or something.
But we
So
didn't make the playoffs.
no,
So that
because
was-
they started off like 3-9.
that was
2021.
the year that caused us to trade Russ.
Yeah, it was a disastrous season.
Yeah.
And it was nice just to quickly go back to the Titans game. It was nice to finally see us win in Nashville. I've never seen that this whole time of being a fan.
I don't remember any games in Nashville, I don't think.
I think we played there during our 2005 Super Bowl season, but I don't remember.
You're definitely right that we played them that year because I remember the first game of that season we lost to Jacksonville on the road.
Yeah, we played the AFC South that year.
Yeah.
It's been 18 fucking years since that season, so it's hard to remember.
Yeah, I can't say that I do. And that was like the first year that I actually watched like every game.
Me too.
Yeah.
I still didn't really understand the game.
Yeah, there's still stuff in the game that I'm like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're always making new fucking rules.
Well, like they're so obsessed with offsides on the offense this year because of fucking Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, the officials this year can seriously suck a dick. They've been so terrible. Like, they've just made the product worse this whole season. And I know we've talked about that on a few podcasts, but the point remains in this Titans game, oh my fucking God, Jake Bobo clearly catches a pass.
Yeah,
This
Yeah.
back judge official that's 20 yards away from his back runs in and confidently is saying no catch.
Dude, that was.
Don't give me that bullshit.
I can't believe they didn't overturn that because you saw.
You saw his
arm
arms
was,
under the.
completely under it. It was like, oh yeah, good job doing a challenge, Pete. We're gonna get that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe they didn't overturn that. And then the fact that they had to challenge
The
DK's
DK
catch
yeah.
was outrageous.
Yeah.
Because then we were out of challenges for the game.
I know.
Because of them.
What if we didn't have a challenge?
Yeah. Then you're just stuck looking at a clear touchdown that you can't challenge. Like, they need to fix this shit, man. They really do.
That was bad.
Yeah.
And you just know, as we're getting close to the postseason here, something's going to happen in this postseason, like the Saints and the Rams, no PI call. You just know something like that is going to happen this playoff season.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of scared. Remember the year, obviously, the year we lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl? Every NFC team that lost leading up to that game had a heartbreaking loss. Do you remember the Lions lost to the Cowboys on a no PI call?
Oh, yeah. Then the Cowboys
lost to the Packers, and the Packers lost to us, and we lost to the Patriots. So, like, everyone got karma for winning in a bullshit way.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for our karma to bounce back from that interception, though.
I mean, it kind of is. The Patriots suck. Now, well, I mean, it's not. It's never going to be. Well, nothing will ever make it better. But
yeah, they got 3 more Super Bowls after that. So.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything else? I think I've pretty. Oh, how could I forget? Joe fucking Flacco. Oh my God. This is one of the coolest stories of the last few years, in my opinion. Like,
he also looks kind of young for some reason. I feel like, I don't know, I was seeing him on the sideline, and I was like, I thought you were way grayer than that.
He's playing young. To me, when I saw him, I was like, ooh, he looks like an old man.
Really? I don't know. He doesn't look like Rodgers old to me. I don't know. Does he look that old to you?
Dude,
he looks like he's almost 40.
Yeah.
There's a hilarious video from that. It's just a clip, and it's like when you put up 34 points and it's past your bedtime.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like.
He looked like he was nodding off. Yeah. Well, I just feel like it's so fun to watch because you're watching a guy that just has literally nothing to lose. He's already won. He's already had a whole career. He's already had like a Ring of Honor for the Ravens career and been a journeyman backup for a few years now, and he's just out there fucking slinging it.
Who's
like
the guy that almost died from that leg?
Alex Smith?
He's okay, yeah.
Oh,
Joe
yeah.
Flacco reminds me of Alex Smith a little bit, like coming back, being an old guy, and just playing great football.
It reminds me of Kurt Warner with the Cardinals coming back because, people forget, but Kurt Warner was like, people thought he was like done. 4 years before he went back to the Super Bowl with the Cardinals. And he was like also like 37 or something during that renaissance of his career. But it makes the Browns so much more watchable because Joe Flacco is someone I can easily root for, especially given the circumstances.
Njoku.
Yeah, he's going off. And just the disparity of watching him versus Deshaun Watson, aka the Predator, it's a pretty big gap.
It's weird that the Browns could potentially go to the Super Bowl.
They could win it all. Really, all they needed this whole year was good quarterback play, and now they're getting it out of 38-year-old Joe Flacco, who just about a year ago, when I was at the Seahawks-Jets home game, I took a video of Joe Flacco on the sideline because he was the Jets' backup, and I thought it was funny. Like, man, I think Robert Saleh is a good coach, but how did you not see that this whole time Joe Flacco was your best option? I don't know.
Yeah, because he was there for 2 years.
Yeah. And they could have had him immediately after Aaron Rodgers got hurt. They could have called up Joe Flacco, and he would have been like, yeah, sure.
Captain Flacco.
Well, I mean, I guess one thing you can say about the Browns, though, that you can't really about the Jets is I think that the Browns have better weapons than the Jets. Would you disagree? I mean, the Jets have Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, but who else do they have? The Packers practice squad?
I agree. Because the Browns are loaded, man. Even Elijah Moore is their wide receiver 3 or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Which I hope he's okay. He got hurt pretty bad in that game.
You get a head injury or something?
Yeah, he had to be taken to the hospital for a concussion.
Jesus. Yeah, but like I was saying, the Browns, they have the 2 running backs. Well, Nick Chubb, hopefully he comes back healthy. But they have Jerome Ford he plugged right in and he's playing ridiculous. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the Browns could make a run, and the AFC playoff games are going to be really fun to watch this year, I think.
I think it's going to be a really fun playoff bracket. The only way that the playoffs suck on the NFC side, and not only just because I'm a Seahawks fan, but if the Seahawks don't make it and a stupid team like the fucking Saints or the Vikings make it over us, that's going to be so lame. Because
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it is either, but it's unfortunate that we fumbled around so much in the middle of the season, because if we do barely miss the playoffs this year, it's just going to make the whole bracket less fun for NFL fans, because it's very clear the Vikings, the Saints, the Falcons, the Packers, those teams aren't going anywhere this year.
Yeah, agreed. I wanted to the Chiefs. I'm really hoping that they can maybe drop another game, because if they do, they could potentially wind up with the 4 seed and have to play the Browns in the first round.
Oh, wouldn't you love to see the Browns take them off?
That would be
First
so
round?
awesome if the Browns took them out.
I think that the Browns, you put them on a neutral field with the Chiefs right now, I think the Browns win by 10 points, honestly. The Chiefs look terrible.
Kelsey has not been...
He hasn't looked the same ever since that injury against Minnesota.
Well, he's 34 or something.
Yeah.
Like...
He better... Oh, man, dude. Like, that's why my team in fantasy was so good, because I had Kelsey getting 20 points. And he's fucking...
Yeah,
but
it's definitely going to be interesting, because, the Ravens on the AFC look like the team to beat right now. But I really feel like this whole thing is wide open, other than the 49ers are probably going to be in the Super Bowl.
I do kind of think Lamar Jackson, when I watch him in interviews and watch him on the field even, he does seem like he's a lot more mature than he was in that MVP season when they got bounced immediately.
Well, he was like 22 his MVP season.
Yeah, I feel like he has the capabilities of taking them to the Super Bowl this year.
Dude, when he's on it, he's the hardest quarterback to stop I think I've ever seen. Not the best, but like just he makes more plays that make you just think like, how is this even fair playing against this guy? Well,
and we forgot to mention, Ryan. How could we have forgotten to mention the farmer throwing 4 interceptions?
The farmer. Yeah, that was great to watch.
Yeah.
I enjoyed every one of those interceptions so dearly. I will always remember.
The only thing that bummed me out about it is that he didn't throw 5.
He almost did. Like immediately after the first half, he threw a pass behind Debo and it just hit the defender in the chest. I don't know. I don't think Brock is like a fraud or anything, but I think it's like that's what can happen when the fucking game isn't going perfectly for you,
When you got
which it has.
On Brock, who...
Yeah, I mean it's been like worry-free football for the Niners all season. Besides the games they've lost,
He's better.
They can't bend.
He's better
No.
than Jimmy Garoppolo, but he reminds me a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what I mean? He's efficient, but when there is pressure on him, he's gonna crumble like
it's
a
like
Nutri-Grain.
if you gave Jimmy Garoppolo like a +1 in every attribute, but just one, then you have Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
agree with
Because
that.
he's like all across the board better than Jimmy G, and in that offense, he's a really good fit. But it's like, yeah, he's not. Cam's game changer take is looking a little better.
The only thing he's not is more handsome than Jimmy.
True.
I'll give him that.
I don't know if anybody has that though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I think that's about all I got for this one.
Yeah, hopefully we can pull out the dub against Pittsburgh and remain them winless in our stadium.
That would be great. Watching them win in our home stadium would be a horrible start to the new year. So.
My mom is going to the game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. So she's a Steelers fan.
Oh, brother.
To those that don't know. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep. See you next time.